Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a fun makeup look for you guys. I feel like I always say that. But it is, I just kind of reached into my kit, pulled out some colors, and created this look, and decided it was makeup I would wear when I wear a hat. So if I take my hat off, you guys can see it's a lot of purple and orange, kind of a sunset look. And when you put the hat on, it just kind of complements it because, well, my hat's purple. But I will explain in the voiceover why I chose so many purples and oranges and just really soft face makeup in general. So let's get started. So the first step of this look is to use a really good primer that's really going to lock down your foundation because you don't want it to rub off on the top of your hat if you decide to take your hat off. You don't want to have like a weird kind of helmet going on. So I'm just using NYX Angel Veil Primer. And I don't do a lot with my brows when I wear a hat just because it's covered up most of the time, so I'm just putting a light brown brow mascara through them just to give them a little bit of shape and make them a little more tame. So now for my eyes, I'm using a bit of concealer as a primer. I've just been finding this working the best with ColourPop shadows that I will be using today. So I'm just going to blend that out with my fingers, make sure it's all even, you know the drill. With a fluffy brush, I'm going to take Melrose from ColourPop. Actually, this is a contouring brush, not a fluffy brush. But they do look the same. So this is kind of a orangey, kind of a burnt orange, very similar to Morocco from um, Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I'm just blending that into my crease, and it looks really orange and weird right now. But when I blend it out and stuff, it looks really pretty and makes a really nice transition. So I'm using a combination of my fingers and the brush to blend it out. As you guys know, ColourPop shadows are supposed to be used with your finger, but you can really use a brush to kind of even it out if you want to. You just kind of have to warm it up a little bit more and work with it a little bit more than a powder shadow. Now going in with K-Pop Beverly, which I think you can get again. It was once limited edition, but I think they brought it back because Karrueche is kind of like on the rise again. So I'm just going to take this color. It's kind of a deep burgundy brown. And I'm going to blend this all over my lid with a fluffy brush to give us a little more dimension and a little bit of color. I like to use colors that really accentuate my eyes when I do makeup looks for hats just because it is a lot easier to accentuate your eyes and bring out the color. At least I like to do that anyways. So I use a lot of dark colors most of the time. And now going in with this color here, it's not Cuddle Buddy, but it's from the Valentine's Day line. If I remember the name, I will leave it down below. I'm using this as a brow highlight, and for some reason it cut off the part where I put static on the inner corner to kind of brighten up the inside of the eye. But yeah, I put static on the inside, and that is also a burgundy color. But I'm just highlighting with this matte kind of pinky, almost skin tone color. For my foundation, I'm using my matte and Poreless Fit Me foundation, and I'm blending this out with a sponge. Like I said, you want a good foundation to go on top of your primer so that it doesn't rub off and it locks down, and I find that this one has a really nice wear time, and when you sweat, it's really, like, it stays in place. I've worn it for performances before, and it always sticks. It doesn't really move around or kind of melt your face off. And I usually wear hats when it's really hot out, so you don't want something that's overly whelming. Like, I wouldn't wear the Amazonian Clay foundation from Tarte for this in general. So now I'm using a little bit of concealer because the hat is going to cast some shadows, so you want to lighten up your under eyes to make sure that they are not too dark and look odd. And if I sound weird, I have been out all day in the sun and I am just super, super tired, so I'm sorry if I'm kind of rambling and not saying stuff right. I'm just exhausted. So I hit my brows with a little bit of mascara again just to make sure they're nice and colored. And now I'm going to use a powder puff and some translucent powder. I never do this unless I'm wearing a hat because, like I said before, I want my foundation to stay in place. So I'm just going to pat this in, especially on the hairline and forehead where the hat rubs, because my least favorite thing is when I take my hat off and I have that line of foundation, especially if I'm like going to dinner or something after I've had the hat on. I like to take my hats off and stuff like that when I'm at the table. That's just like good manners. Yeah, so I'm just going to pat this all over my face and lock everything down. So now I'm going to use a waterproof eyeliner. This is a pencil from Too Faced in black. I don't want to do a wing because you're not really going to see it with the hat. So I am just putting a little bit of eyeliner on to accentuate my eyes. Like I said before, I want my eyes to really pop. And that's why I'm using purpley colors, because this is for green eyes. Or if you have brown eyes, I think it'll work. But I'm just putting a little bit of that on to open up the eye, and of course a whole bunch of mascara just to look really awake, because I feel like when you wear a hat, people think it's because you're having like a bad hair day or like a bad makeup day, but that is not the case, especially with some of these people on Instagram. They look great in hats. So I'm just going to add a quick flush of blush. This is a Makeup Geek blush, just I think it's Secret Admirer, which is being discontinued, by the way, so I highly recommend picking it up. And for my lips, I'm using Revlon's Peach Parfait. And that is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.